A ghost tour is a unique sightseeing experience combining stories of the supernatural with historical fact. We met some of these guides in the heart of Albuquerque's historic Old Town to better understand this mysterious tour.
But can you introduce yourself? Give a little bit about what you do here, how long you've been working here.
Sure. I go by Old Town Julie Brown. I have locally owned, female owned, and operated for 24 years.
My name is Misty Lundy. I'm the manager here at ABQ Tours. I started with the company back in 2005.
What originally brought me in was I went on the tour one night and I thought, wow, this is really cool. And then I got interested in ghost hunting and then they started doing the tours because I really just fell in love with Old Town. But the ghost tour is by far our most popular tour. We've been doing it 24 years. April 1st, 2001 was our very first tour. And things have happened. Okay. In 24 years, people have seen things, felt things, smelled things, heard things. They've been touched. There have been experiences, but that's pretty rare. The most common thing are really unusual photographs that people get during the tour, or they get the chills or they get goosebumps. So things do happen on the tour, but for the most part, not a lot of actual ghosts popping up during the tour. And, we want people to be spooky. We don't want them to be terrified. We're not a haunted house. We're not jumping out at you. If people do, they're not with us.
There's been people on my tour that start off as complete skeptics. When we're about halfway through and they actually saw an apparition in the window, they changed their minds. And they ended up staying a little bit closer to me that night.
What's your favorite part about working in the ghost and history tours?
It's the location. Being in such a historical area. And Old Town is unique.
What I love most about doing tours, well, number one, we're entertainment, first and foremost. We love showing people the past history of the area and the current vitality. We have 319 years of history right here. We have cool stories and we can show them architecture, things that are, old, really old and that aren't. And then the ghost stories here and the number of ghost stories that are reported to us, it's amazing. But I say we are an entertainment business.
It's definitely a form of entertainment. But these are all local legends. They're local families. So we are talking about history and heritage. So that's important to make sure that you have that information correct on the ghost tour. And I have had locals who are part of the founding families come on our history tour with a notebook and pen, and they are taking notes because they want to know. We've had locals who take the ghost tour and come back to us and be like, yeah, you know what? Aunt Cece said that was 100% right about their family. I didn't even know that happened. So I think it's, again, about the history. Some of the family hasn't spread their history down, and younger family members are going, this happened. Oh my gosh. They get kind of caught up in it, and then they want to research more, which I think is also cool.
So my goal is not to convince you, that ghosts exist. That's totally up to you. My goal is to just give you a little bit of history, tell you the ghost stories, show you some of the evidence that the different ghost hunters have captured, and then let you decide for yourself.
Our job, even as a ghost guide, is not to try and convince people there's ghosts. It's to give you the facts of, hey, this happened, this happened, this happened, in a very fun and entertaining way. One of my favorites is actually a Civil War sergeant. The 3 sightings were one was just some reenactor. He saw a Confederate soldier walking down into a alleyway, and he followed him. He was like, oh, where'd you get that outfit? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? And the guy totally ignored him and then walked through a locked door. He came and told us. Well, he had had a few drinks, so we just kind of okay, that's under Jack Daniels, But then we got 2 more sightings. We have to get 3 in order to add the spirit to a tour.
And a lot of these urban legends, be it La Llorona who haunts the waterways. There's actually kind of a reason behind it, right? So you pretty much scare the kids, hey, don't go in the arroyo because it's dangerous, right? You don't want anything to happen. The same thing like on, what used to be Highway 666, the lady in white, the hitchhiker, you pick her up and that's the thing. So don't pick up hitchhikers late at night, don't go into the ditches. So I think there is some bit of urban legend and there is actually a reason.
But what do you hope people walk away with after taking one of the tours?
I hope they come away with, number one, a sense of understanding of what it was like back then, to have some knowledge that they didn't have before, whether it be history or ghost. If you look at, we've got 760 some odd reviews, and they're all great, but each one will tell you their favorite part. They'll tell you, oh, I really enjoyed the history. I've lived here my entire life and didn't know these things. Just giving some kind of knowledge is wonderful. And I love it when I could walk away from a tour knowing that they all enjoyed themselves. They all had a good time. They learned something they didn't know about, whether it be ghostly or not. But I think that's the most important thing to me.